Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Florida Boy, and this is my EDC channel. Of course. I love it when you have an intro, and after you say it, you're like, people know this, but it's just part of the thing, right? I mean, got to have some kind of continuity. All right, so we're not going to delay this any further. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a pen. I love pens, and today's pen is the Olight OPen 2. Let's get into it. All right, so if you remember from the last mail time video that I did, I got a package from my good buddy Dan, and he sent me a bunch of stuff, which is always his favorite thing to do, is to blow me away with a bunch of stuff. And this was one of them, and it kind of made its way right into my everyday carry, my EDC. So this thing is actually really, really awesome, and I'm kind of bummed that Olight doesn't really put these out anymore, because now they do the OPen Pros, and we will go over that. So this one in particular is the black model, and it does say limited edition right there. I guess it was just because they were only making a certain amount of these, but I'm not 100% sure about the well, there you go, number 160. I'm not quite sure why they made this one a limited edition and not the OPen Pros. That I feel like that is a little backwards, but you know, Olight has their reasons. They do things and stuff sometimes. So let's go ahead and see what's in the box. I already have the pen out of the box. Full disclosure, I've been carrying it for a little while now. Since the day he sent it, I started carrying it just in preparation for this video. I was pretty stoked to try it out. So you do get a nice user manual. We aren't going to go too crazy in depth over this, so pause if you want to read any of this stuff. I think, do I have it all the way open? Why does it feel folded? It is not all the way open. There we go. So pause if you want to read any of this. Flip it over for you. Pause. There you go. Okay. So now that that little tidbit of information is somewhat done, we can get into the packaging. So I actually like the packaging of this, this pen a whole lot more than the packaging for the new pens. The OPen Pros in particular. I wish I had one just laying out that I could show you. I'm trying to look to see if I have one that's anywhere close, and I don't think that I do. I'd have to move around and look through all my junk. I'm trying not to get into that. So this comes with a nice plastic hard case on the inside of the box with a little pulley tab. And so something interesting about this was it does come with some refills. You get your USB-C cable, USB-A to USB-C, has little diagrams tell you how to actuate the light, and that's basically it. I mean, it's a pretty simple packaging, but it is actually rather nice. It's a pretty nice little pen holder if you do so or care to use it that way. I really do like this packaging more for these pens. Something else a little bit odd, at least to me, coming from using the OPen Pros, is it comes with gel inserts, and I think they switched off the gel inserts because I think there were like leakage issues. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that, but I've read that the gel inserts that Olight used to use were a little leaky, so maybe that's why they switched to the new style that they have. Not sure, just a guesstimation. So this is your OPen 2. Here he is, and as you can see here, we have the flashlight or the LED actually on the body of the light itself. When we compare it to something like an OPen Pro, you can see the OPen Pro has the LED on the clip, and I've never been the biggest fan of that, and we'll get into that. And it's mainly because of the way the clip is. the clip on these, at least on mine, like, see, this is me prying on it. You can see it's indenting my fingers. With this one, I can pull it right out, snug it into a pocket right over the seam. No issues. That's always been my big problem with these OPen Pros. So this seems to have remedied that, even though I think the OPen 2 is just an older model. But I digress. I just prefer this style of clip now that I've held it in my hands. It's also kind of funny too that you have your button on the top, right? Chaw. And when you click it, of course, you get your flashlight turned on, your LED turns on. Hold, and you can cycle through the modes, or you can double tap to jump straight to turbo, tap again to turn it off, which is pretty, that's pretty easy. When you look at something like the OPen Pro, you push it up to turn it on, the actual bolt itself. You push the bolt up to turn it on, turn it off, press and hold the bolt up to actuate that LED, double tap to go to turbo. I prefer the button. I do, and we'll go over why. And the only thing that it's missing that, say, an OPen Pro has is if you press and hold that button, you get your green laser, which is not something I use very often to begin with. So yeah, I'm pretty partial to this pen right now. I really enjoy it. I really like the weight. If we talk about weight here, it's significantly lighter than my other OPen Pros. But that's a little bit of a different story. My OPen Pros, I've got the brass bark and the copper, so they're a little bit heavier just because of that. And since we are going to move closer, let's do some close-ups. Let's zoom on down here, and there we go. So here is your OPen 2, and like I said, I am a fan. I really like it. Let's put a couple pens up there just so you can get an idea. I'll start off with the OPen Pros. That way we can just see size difference wise. They're roughly the same. That's your brass bark from Olight, and this is your copper variant from Olight. Their pens are really nice. The only thing I don't like about their pens is the fact that you have to use the Olight refills. Unless you purchase, there is an adapter that you can buy off a guy on Etsy. I'm sure there's other people that sell it, but I know there's a guy on Etsy who sells an adapter so you can use, like Fisher Space Pen refills and stuff like that. I do not have one, so I cannot verify how well they work, but, do with that information what you will. So that is next to an OPen Pro. We'll hold up the Bastion Executive Pen. This is definitely one of my faves. The Bastion pens are just so unbelievably nice. Very, very slick. You can see there that the Bastion pen is ever so slightly shorter, and that's not a bad thing. One nice thing about something like the Olight pen is you do have a little bit deeper of a carry on the pocket clip, so that's pretty nice. And that is the same thing with the OPen Pros. The only thing about the OPen Pro is you got that green laser hanging out the top of your pocket. Last but not least, we will do one of the OPen Minis. So here you go. Here is an OPen Mini, and there you can see the size difference there. So overall, it's about what you'd expect on pen size, pen length, pens. Yeah, if you've never looked at my logo before, it's a pen and a knife. So I do like pens. So how does it write? Well, the bolt on this is pretty snappy. It's very, very nice. If we do a sound comparison, whenever I'm playing with these, I like to flip them up this way. So the click on the OPen Pros, and mine's the same way for both. The click on the OPen Pros, whenever you do it the first time, sounds good, but then when you come back, it's kind of mushy. Whenever I do this, I get a nice little click, click. It sounds the same going back and forth. So I don't know what the big difference is there. Now, whenever you are doing an OPen Pro, we'll talk actually let's go ahead and write first. So we'll just write. So this is the, let me see if I can get at an angle here so you can see me writing. I'm going to write at a weird angle, so sorry if my handwriting is trash. So Olight Pen 2. OPen 2. So yeah, I think it, you know, if I do a nice big circle and I just draw a little smiley face, we can see that it's all nice and smooth. We don't have any skipping on the lines or anything like that. So it writes great. I mean, this is one of those pens that is gonna, I mean, you put it in your pocket, you pull it out to write, it's gonna write. So I appreciate that. With my normal day job, I write a lot all day, every day, and that's normal to me. So yeah, I use pens an awful lot. So going back to what we were talking about a second ago. So let's go ahead and take the heads off of these. One day. There we go. Okay. So we can see some key differences here. On the OPen Pro, right here, we can see that we have a button. And what that is whenever you are using the body or the bolt and you press up, I wish I had a way to, hold on, let me grab a flashlight right here. There we go. So if we shine a flashlight in there, whenever you hit that bolt up, there's a pad that moves, and it's kind of hard to pick up on camera. I can see it, but I just wanted you guys to be able to see it. There, you can kind of see it. It's focusing on my hand, unfortunately, but you can see that pad moves right down there in the middle of the barrel. So whenever you hit that bolt and you move it up, it's what actuates this little button on the bottom. So it's not a complex system, but it's actually kind of complex for it just being a pen. You know, it's a little overkill. If we plug in either one of these, you can see we get a red light here to let you know we're charging. Turns green whenever it's fully charged. We'll plug in this one, and the actual LED itself turns red. Or there's a LED by the LED that turns red. That's kind of cool. I like that. It's just right out there in the open. If I'm charging this and it's sitting here, I kind of got to do one of these things so I can see if it's charged yet. So I appreciate that too. Oh, you know, it's funny because overall, I think I do prefer the design better for the OPen 2. I think the OPen Pros are nice, and I think a lot of people appreciate the different, you know, the different colors and the different variations that come in. But I like the overall design of the OPen 2, I think, a little bit more. Just because of the way it, you know, the way it functions, the way the things work. I'm one of those people where I prefer fit and function over features, you know. It's just one of those things, my preference. Whenever you push the bolt up on this guy, nothing happens. I won't grab a flashlight because, you know, nothing happens. But something cool about this, sorry, I have the hiccups. Something cool about this is you can turn this guy on, set him down, turn the pen on, and then you could write if you needed to be able to write in the dark. Interesting feature. Or if, you know, you just needed a backup light, you could unscrew this. You could clip this to your pocket, or you could clip it to your shirt or your hat, and then you have a light on the go and you still have access to a pen. So just cool features. I like the features of these guys. You can see we have an O-ring right here, maybe. Come on, camera. There we go. You can see we have an O-ring here, so we have plenty of waterproofing there. Nothing to worry about if you're outside using this in the elements. It should hold up fine. Don't go, you know, swimming or skinny dipping with it though. I wouldn't trust it that much. Oh, there it goes. Jeez, I must have torqued it too much last time. So here we go. We'll get down to the bottom. We can see we have another O-ring right there. And here is your Olight refill. And now if you know anything about the Olight pens, you buy the Olight refills in packs of 3. Typically what I do is anytime I order something from Olight, they usually have packs of 3 of these for free if they're in stock. You can get 1 pack for free. So whenever I order anything from Olight, I check to see if any of them are in stock, and then I'll just add it to my order and just pick up another box. I probably have like 6 boxes of them. Not to mention most of their pens come with one pre-installed, and then it will get one extra one. That's been the scenario for me most times. So we can see we have some jimping on here, or knurling, milling, machining, you call it what you will. You can see we have some nice little lines here, a little bit of texturing to be able to hold the pen. It works in Axe all right. It's about the same as the copper one. The copper one I was never really happy with. I liked it because it's copper, obviously. That's my thing. But the mixture of the copper and these mill lines being so like they're just not thick. So this pen is slick, like slick. So this pen I wanted to love so bad, but I couldn't because my hands get a little sweaty after a while, and a slick pen's kind of a deal breaker to me. This was one of the first Olight pens that I purchased, and this guy right here is actually pretty awesome. The lines here are very, very textured. Not to mention you have the brass bark engravings on here, and that creates even more texture. When you hold this pen, you just feel like you've got it. Like it's not going anywhere. So this has definitely been one of my favorites. Now back to this. Same lines here they're around about the same as the copper pen, but since this is not copper, it's not naturally slick. So I can get a good grip on this. I can write, it feels nice. It does what it should. Now the Bastion pen kind of has a similar issue to the copper pen, with the added benefit that this is stainless. It's heavy. So even when it gets slick, I still feel like I can hold it well. The copper pen is heavy, obviously, too, but I don't know if it's the diameter of this pen, like how round it is, that just gives you the better feel, the better grip. But I didn't have any kind of slick issues with this pen. This pen also is very, very lightly textured, and if you've never held one, it probably doesn't look like it is on camera, but it feels almost like a bead blast or like a satin. So it does have a little bit of a grip to it. So I really, really enjoy this pen, and I love the sound of the bolt of this. I mean, this thing could annoy the crap out of anybody in the entire house just by moving it back and forth. It's louder than a knife. Here we go. All right, so Kubikoas and Bastion pen. Listen, here's the Kubi. Here's the Bastion. So yeah, so I mean it is, man. So there you go, Kubi. Yeah, it's very tactile. I love that Bastion pen. Bastion makes such good pens. Let me put the knife down. Now I'm gonna start fidgeting my knife. So yeah, this actually gives you pretty decent sounds. It's clicky. It's not as clicky as the Bastion, but I enjoy that it's the same sound, activating and deactivating, versus the OPen Pros. They click when you activate and they kind of mush when you deactivate them. So that's always been kind of a turnoff for me on the OPen Pros. Because I mean, when you buy an Olight pen, you're spending $100. Unless you get a good sale, you're spending $100. I really want to get my hand on a Ti version. I really want a titanium pen. That's one of the things I don't own yet. I've been on the lookout, but people on the secondary market want so much. So if anybody wants to sell me a titanium pen, whether it be Olight or something, I will absolutely buy it. Just don't hit me too hard. So I do really like this pen. And I think it's awesome. I carry it every day, and I've really enjoyed it. The Olight refills. Let me grab a box. Let's see. There we go. I should have been more prepared for this. So here is an Olight refill box. Pretty basic. I mean, these are one of the boxes, like I said, that's free from the Olight website. Whenever you get it, or whenever they have them in stock, and then you get it, it comes with 3 refills. Here it is. To do a refill, all you do, take this guy out, popper the topper. Of course, it comes with a little wax bead on the end. Take off your spring, slide it on to the new one. Let me put it on anyway. Let's say once you take off the wax spring, and then you just put them in. And that's it. That's all you do for the refills for these. So pretty simple. I mean, it's a pen. It's not over-engineered or anything. And you're ready to rock and roll. And that's literally all it takes to swap it out. So I keep a box of these in my EDC bag just in case. These refills, they look tiny. I mean, they do. They are small because remember, half of this, not half, a quarter of this pen is light in battery. So the refills are smaller than you think they would be. But I will say, with the refills, writing every day, I probably go through one refill, probably about one refill a month to 2 months, and that's about max life for me. So I think you get a lot of capacity on the refills. No complaints there. I think they're good. They write nice. No problems I've ever had. No leaking. None of that. So just in case anybody was wondering about the refills, they're good. They're just expensive if you don't pick it up for free, and it kind of sucks that you have to order them from Olight unless you buy that adapter. So yeah, we're hitting about 20 minutes. So let's go ahead and wrap this one up. Remember that if you decide to buy from Olight and you want to use my links and support the channel, I will have a link down in the description below. And I also have a discount code, FBE10, and that will save you 10% at checkout. And I do get a kickback from that. So, you can use it or you don't have to use it. It's fine. But just help support the channel. Even if you don't use it, it's okay. I'm just glad you're here. So we'll slide my other refill right back in, just so you can see how easy all this stuff is. Just swapping them in and out. Not a whole lot to it. Bolt action doesn't make it any more difficult. And I'm ready to rock and roll, and no issues. So OPen 2 is awesome. This is a great pen. Thank you, Dan, so much. This, like I said, went right into my rotation, and I've been enjoying it very much. You the man, Dan. And thank you guys for stopping by and checking out the content. I definitely couldn't be doing what I'm doing if it wasn't for all of you. So all of you equally appreciated. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and checking out this video. If you enjoyed what you saw, please hit that like button and consider subscribing if you're new. I think my videos are pretty decent. They're pretty okay. Some people like them. Either way, thank you so much for stopping by. I'll catch you guys on the next one.